Good evening. Welcome back. Welcome back after the summer break. It's good to have you. Good to have you all. So, hello Zion. Hello Alexander. We're starting. There's already a couple of people watching. I'm back from vacation and some little time off. So I hope that you're all doing well, that you're relaxing a bit, that you have your beverages and chips and whatever you need. You're still on a break, one more week. Great, that's good to hear. We still have 2 weeks of school vacation that we need to somehow survive. So let's see how well that goes. So what have you been up to the last couple of weeks? And like when was the live stream? The last time we did a live stream here was probably 3 weeks ago. Was it? Was it? I think it was. Must have been somewhat around beginning of August, if I'm not wrong. So, what are we going to do today? School starts next week, yeah. Okay, that's good for you, actually. So I've been, we have been struggling a little bit with school vacation. It's really hard to keep everyone entertained, and still working mostly full time without any huge opportunity to take more than the 2 weeks off. Yeah, I mean, we have been streaming 3 weeks ago. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, let's get started. I think what we're doing today is a couple of things. I have been coming back and didn't get to pack up the Ender 3v3 because that was part of last time's giveaway and I still have to pack it up. So what I did essentially is a factory reset of the printer. So tonight we're gonna disassemble this little baby here and bring it back into the box. So kind of a more like an unusual reverse unboxing tonight. And on the way you can probably ask me questions if you want around this printer, because I've been using this printer for a long time for testing and doing the big enclosure build. So if you have any questions, go ahead and ask me. And what I will do, I'm just slowly going to basically disassemble everything from this printer perspective. Just getting everything back into the box. For example, the display, starting with that. But you can do everything in reverse that I've been doing in the live stream when we did the unboxing, which could be a little challenging because, you know, I have been doing quite a few giveaways in the last several months. And honestly, one of the biggest challenges is actually getting the stuff back into the box. Sometimes I actually had to watch my own unboxing videos to understand how things came out of the box. I'm not joking. It is actually not that easy because there are so many little packaging foams and you need to put the stuff into the box in a specific order because otherwise it won't fit and could get damaged during the shipping process. And so I might have actually to go back to my own unboxing video to check if I'm doing it right. But the first few steps are kind of obvious. You want to disconnect all of the cables and just start to disassemble the frame. And then we need to understand how everything goes back into the box. So reboxing, yeah. Spline, hello, welcome to the stream. I've just had a repack a defective robot vacuum cleaner today. I know the pain. Yeah, it is sometimes really painful to do this kind of to box stuff back into. Like I was recently unboxing one of these Bambu Lab printers, and I was like, there was so many little things in the box, and it was so complicated how they put everything, like how they crammed so many things into this small box, including the AMS unit. And I was like, if I ever have to ship this to the company and for a repair or some warranty stuff, this might be this might be a little challenge, or at least a little challenge, but it could be a nightmare also. So we have all these motor cables that we want to disconnect. Where can I put this? So we have motor cables, sensor cable, yeah, a couple of things. Also there is, I'm not sure if, like what in case of the cable, I think also the cable from the hot end needs to be disconnected. And we did fix it with, did we? Oh yeah, there's a cable that we need to get from the extruder. There is also a little zip tie here that we need to remove. And then we can also disconnect this cable here from the hot end, which is connected to the base. So we want to unclip this from the PTFE tube, get this out of this little clamp here. So that's good. And back into, we want to get this cover back. I think the PTFE tube itself can stay connected if I'm not wrong. So more cables to do, I guess. There is a sensor cable here that might, I think that stays connected actually. Does it? We'll have to see. Not sure about that. So let me double check. We have, hey, hammer time. We don't want us to destroy this. Evo Clark, hello, good evening. My two cats were initially not very trusting of our original one, but now there are no Fs given and they're fine with them. Okay, so yeah, vacuum cleaner with cats I think is actually a good investment. We have two cats, and I think the vacuum cleaner is doing a swipe of the whole floor every single day, and that's the best thing, because otherwise it would be, everything would be covered with cat hairs. I mean, I would really hate that. So we have the motor, left, right motor. Limit switch cable, where is this connected? This is a very, very tiny switch. A very tiny cable, where is this connected? This must be somewhere here. Ah, here. We have a very small connector. Good. That's worked. Power cable, okay, this is good. This is done. The nozzle connection. Display disconnected. I guess we did the cables correctly now. And now we are taking off the frame or the gantry. Probably you'll need some drivers here, hex driver. This is too small. Okay, so there's 4 screws here holding the gantry in place, and probably want to find some little There must be some little zip bag for the cables here. Here. So this should be good. There's not too many screws actually with this printer, which is great. There's, I think it's only these 4. And there is another 4 from the bottom, and that's it. I guess it's only total of 8 screws holding the frame. But I think we need the wrench actually. The screwdriver isn't that great for this. I think I made it quite tight, so it's pretty much not moving anymore. That's too big. It's just perfect here. The cat and the Roomba are like cartoon villains, mortal enemies like me, He-Man and Skeletor. Skeletor, yeah. I mean, it's the good old times of He-Man. And did you all watch that? I mean, that was one of my favorite cartoon series back in the days. I actually liked He-Man quite a lot. So there's another 4 at the bottom. So let's get them loose. Two Siberian Huskies, hair all over the place. Oh my goodness. I can imagine this dogs. I mean, there is actually, interesting enough, there's dogs that actually don't lose that much hair. I heard, at least I'm not a dog expert, but some people told me there is, like, if you look for the right type of dog, you're actually not going to have any hair problem. I'm not sure if that's completely true, because I can hardly imagine that there is any animal that has hair that is not losing hair. It's hard to imagine, but might be different with like different types of dogs and cats. Ours are like probably one of the most hairy cat races ever. The British short hair, but it's like that's like kind of misleading. Doesn't have to have anything to do with not losing much hair. It's actually losing terrible amount of hair. So some people have dogs. I see some people have cats. Neighbor cat that sometimes comes an absolute pig. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's just we have a kind of a mixed relationship with neighbor dogs. Some are friendly, some are not. So we did the 8 screws, which is not much. And I guess, if I'm not mistaken, the first thing that needs to go into the box is actually the space part. Question is only how, which orientation, if this might be the right one. Not sure. Is there any other way how to do this? Not sure. That looks actually quite good. So nothing gets broken or squeezed. And then we have so many foam parts, and the question is how do we put this tool head and the gantry in? I'm not sure anymore, honestly, how this was oriented. I guess the motors are going this way. There is kind of a little hole like that, but sure, not going directly in. There must be some additional foam pieces here. Let's figure out this is probably right. But we need to put stuff in here. I think we need additional things to bump it up a little bit. Just trying to understand how this goes in. Might be a few things like this. Well, how does the cover actually look like? Maybe that will help us. And if in doubt, we can also watch the video. So this is the top. And I think honestly this doesn't tell us a lot about how the tool head was oriented. Might be that the tool head was in one of these corners. Probably the tool head has to be in this corner. So we can push it. We can push it down here. Is probably the position where it needs to be. Somewhat. So that actually looks not bad. Not bad so far. And it's not touching anything else, looks like. The question still remains, what about all these other foam pieces? So probably one of them is going in here somehow, because that should make sense. Good question. Maybe one of them goes into the back side. That's possible. Oh, that's too high. Well, could be. There's another one that is looking like it's the one that fits in here. Could just be the reverse, I am not sure, honestly. It's probably just keeping the bed from just slinging around here. So this one looks actually a bit better for this side here. And then we'll have this one. So that looks good. This is good, dampening the bed. We probably want something on the side as well. Not sure, this is... Not sure. Probably also want to keep stuff from dampening this. Could make sense. Yeah, I think I get it how it was originally in there, somehow like this. So things are pretty well packed in. Question is, does it still close correctly? Is this working? Looks actually good, if you ask me. Looks good. We have small pieces here that are probably have been somewhere here, maybe also blocking this tool head from moving. And something like this, no idea. Don't know where this goes. This might have been somewhere here, but actually I don't remember. Maybe this just to block the tool head from bumping into the side. This one. We have another big one here. Okay. So, fairly well. Is this the box or does it go into the top? I think it goes here. Like a little puzzle game. I can see it. What are you discussing, guys? My cat is a rescue. My daughter found her thrown away in a box no more than 2 days old. I had to bottle feed her every 2 hours. Now she's 1 year old and full-fledged family member. That's great. That's great. That's a great story. Love that. Really love that. I think rescuing animals is really much better than getting them from just getting newborns. I'm not against that, but if you have a chance to get a cat that's already that someone doesn't want anymore, an animal, I think it's also great if you do that. Question of the day: where do all these other parts go? We have to puzzle, still finish the puzzle game. There's some filament here. I have no idea. Where is this going? Is this here? Maybe. What is this for? Probably for the manual, the stickers, stuff like that. So that's the only thing left here is the manual and something, this little thing here. Wondering if it fits somewhere here. Doesn't look like it's fitting here, honestly. Just doesn't make sense. Probably wasn't. Maybe the screen was actually in here. What could have been that this was the place for the screen, and this was down here. We also have this power cable. It needs to go somewhere. And on top of there is not so much space here. It probably also needs to go in here or underneath the gantry. Makes also, there is place for that. Okay. So we got everything done. There's one final foam cover. And the puzzle is complete. Honestly, I think I never packed in a printer faster than this. This was a record time, honestly. That's like, I'm not bragging about this, but it was really fast, honestly. I was thinking this is probably gonna take an hour or something. Okay, what next? Let's get this off the table, please. Oh my goodness. Okay, so one of the things that I've just printed here, let me double check. This is my little project that I'm currently doing. So I've actually started using some more, I would say, difficult to print materials. In this case, it's PA12, which is nylon, and still cooling down, so we'll have to wait. I'm currently printing this little thing here, which is a hook. Obviously, it's a hook, but it has a special place where it goes. Let me show you where this is used. So I was seeing something similar, and I was kind of like, I was liking it a lot. So I decided that I'm gonna make my own version of this. So this is the application for the hook. We got a caravan, and sometimes you wanna have stuff hanging. And there's actually a clever way how to do this. So this hook goes over like the open Windows frame, but even better, it can also be used when the window is closed because it has this shape. It's not going to block the window. And so currently it works with windows that are like kind of the standard for all of the German caravan brands like Knaus and Hobby and stuff like that. But I'm also trying them on different brands, so I'm just gonna figure out where they fit and how they need to be modified. I'm also still playing around with the right material. So this version currently is printed from PA12, which is nylon. The interesting discovery that I made, I was kind of surprised. I was always thinking that nylon, it's also in the description of the material, it's actually supposed to be super rigid, which is also true. Like, it is basically impossible to destroy this, right? You can't break it, right? But the surprise is that it is actually quite flexible. I wasn't like kind of expecting that level of flexibility. In my opinion, it's a little bit too flexible for this application. So the only way how to get it stronger is trying different infill. So this is like with, I think it has 3 layers or 3 parameters and 40% infill. And I think with, I've just printed a version with 100% or 6 or 8 parameters. And just to try if the infill versus 100% infill versus 40% is making any difference in terms of the flexibility, right? So it's really good material. It's also like in terms of the temperature resistance, it's good. But since it's already a little bit flexible, I just had it in the sun. So I tested this out in the sun and it gets a little more flexible. It's not really melting, or it's still retaining its shape, but it still gets a little bit more flexible when it's in the sun. And so I want to try out if using different infill works better. And like as Spline already mentioned, there is 2 different things that I want to try out. I have the carbon fiber reinforced. However, I'm a little concerned about the carbon fiber, because if you look at this application and you close the window and you have something printed from carbon fiber reinforced material, I hope that this doesn't scratch the plastic, right? I mean, for myself, I wouldn't care so much, but if we consider this as a product and want to sell it, I don't want people come back and telling me they have scratches on their windows because the material itself is so rough or something like that. And nylon is crazy sensitive for moisture. That's also correct. That's why I printed it directly from the Filament dry box. So I've set up, like you can't see this right now, I've set the Filament dry box up for permanently drying it. So it's currently at 17% relative humidity, and printing it directly from here. And before printing, I had it 10 hours in this box and 10 hours of drying. Pre-printing, and always, like while printing, also had it on 100% of the time. So this is definitely something that you need to consider. And the other option that might be more sturdy is the carbon fiber. So the, how is it called? PACF. I think this is actually, not sure if Bamboo Lab is still selling this. I think they have changed the material. Let me see if this is still, I think they have PACF, they still should have this, right? PA6CF, yeah, they have still the PA6CF. But the problem with that is they have only This is only available in black. So if you ever wanted to have different colors, so let's say you wanted to have PA, you need to go with the glass, like glass fiber reinforced, though it's not carbon fiber, it's glass fiber. I think that's also an option. There I see like more potential for different colors, because I think this could be quite attractive if you print this like not only in white, but like actually want an option in white. I don't want this in black only. Probably want to have this as an option. So white is only available with the glass fiber reinforced, not with the carbon fiber, obviously. And so I think this could be an option. But I'm still going to try out the carbon fiber black, just to see like how much does this actually influence the stability of the printout. And the second option that they have is, or basically also other manufacturers, is was it PC? But it is, yeah, I'm not sure if like PC is, I think it's more like, it's a little more flexible, I'm not sure. Or ASA might also be an option. I'm not sure about ASA. If, like, it is better for the outdoor environment. It has more resistant for sunlight. So the color choices are also good. So ASA might also be an option. So I think I'm gonna try out the different reinforced materials and ASA. ABS is not something that I want to try out, because ABS is not very good if you have it in the sunlight, which is obviously something that this is definitely going to be exposed to sunlight, because this is an outdoor application, obviously. And both, yeah, the carbon fiber and the glass fiber reinforced will probably scratch this plastic frame. This is, yeah, I mean, this is already quite scratched up, but it is definitely going to be something to consider. And that's why I said like the pure nylon is probably the best choice if you don't want this to scratch. Second option that is probably not scratchy is the ASA, but I need to test out the stability and like, is it actually more brittle? Is it going to hold the same weight? Gonna need to compare these materials. But this is the little thing that I'm currently working on as some kind of project. And we're gonna do some more testing out in the sun, and different windows from different brands, different shapes, because there's also these, like this is a window that's more like outset, it's bulking out. That's one very popular type of window with caravans and also the older motorhomes. The newer, I would say more modern looking ones are having these inset windows, which are flush with the surface. They have a different shape, like they are shaped, like the inner part, the isolation part and the rubber part is shaped a little bit different. So I need to make a different version for that. That's definitely like not going to work with this round version. There are UV resistant nylons. Yeah, that's also maybe something to consider. I think my main concern is really, first place is UV resistance, and second is stability and rigidity. So I have to do some tests. I think ASA might be, like, overall might be a good alternative, but the problem with PA14 has longer molecules, yeah. The question is, where do you get PA14 material from? Because I think this PA12 is already, PA12 is not that common yet, or at least not many manufacturers have PA12, which is this one from, this is the brand actually. What was it? Fiberlogy. A lot of the materials are PA6, which is actually shorter molecules, so it's probably a little more flexible even than the PA12. So the PA16, I'm not sure where to get this. PA16 nylon. Like which brands do offer PA16? Yeah. So when people buy a product, these are the things they don't appreciate, the time, the effort, research that goes into a product before they are released to the public. This is a more complicated process because it is just not something that you can print and put into the shelf, right? It has a functional, is a functional part, and it also needs to have specific properties, right? So you need to, like, it needs to be for outdoor. You don't want to scratch the windows. It needs to be kind of like, it needs to be a little bit flexible because like this is also the thing. If you have this part and you need to put it over the window frame, it needs to be a little flexible because if it's not flexible, like it's gonna, like you're gonna break it, right? This is actually sloped a little bit in by purpose. So it's not a mistake. It's this slope here. So it's a little bit curved in because that's going to be, it's just going to hold a little bit under the rubber frame, right? So that's also something that came out after iteration 11 of this part. This is like the 11th version of this. And so, yeah, you're totally right. People don't know how much time goes into just doing something like this. So 16, is there something like that? PA16 material, something with longer molecules? PA16 or PA14. I think it's great if we had that. Need to do some research on this. I think PA12 is actually the one that I know. The other one I wouldn't know if someone sells PA with longer nylon PA12. I think this is like currently I don't see anything that's better than this. Might be for industrial. Maybe there's some industrial material that is not available as easy. Maybe there's pallets that have that, but maybe it's not available from the, I would say, the usual brands yet. So that's why we need to do some research on the material and figure out what's actually best for this specific use case. There is also, there's also ABS, which is, the problem with ABS is it's not UV resistant in long-term conditions, and I think they don't have anything else yet that I can use. That's all. Like we have PLA carbon fiber, that's not really useful. The other material that I'm also interested in, this is something that I didn't test yet, but I want to test it soon. I got this Filament material. I like the idea a lot, which it's called, can you read it? Fishy filaments. This is something I saw recently. What color? I don't know, like some kind of greenish, bluish color. And this material is, I think it's also nylon, something like that. So polycarbonate, polyacryl. It's made from old fishing nets, right? And that is, I would say, this is actually a great idea to make a sustainable material, which is made from plastic waste from the ocean. So fishing nets, printable fishing nets, basically. So I love the idea, and I think with the community of van life and campers, maybe a little bit more environmentally responsible ideas, this couldn't hurt to try out and see if this works. Like if this works, I would offer this as an option. It's definitely way more expensive than the normal nylon materials, but it's I think for some people it might make actually the difference and say, hey, yes, I like this, I want to use this, I want this product in this material because I think it's a good thing for the environment to have it versus using fresh plastic, so to say. That's what I'm thinking about here. Yeah, I'm actually good. I think I'm not using recycled filaments enough. Probably should use it more. But there's also more good offerings out there. More companies offering that stuff. For example, the whole series of all these materials here, all these different colors here from black, white, gray, silver, metallic, bronze, gold, green, blue, purple, and all the colors. This is all ABS. That's from recycled industrial waste. It's from it's from Austria actually. They make it in Austria, and the brand is Nobofil. So this is all like, that's what I'm using if I have to do something rigid, and it is not for outdoor usage, more for like industrial functional things, and that is only from recycled plastic, which is already great. It's already a great option. So highly encourage you to do this. Strength of PETG. I'm not sure about PETG in this specific case. Probably want to give it a try. In the end, I think the compromise is you need something that is strong, a little bit flexible, UV resistant, not brittle. I mean, there's kind of that limits the selection quite a lot. And temperature resistant is also one thing, because like you can imagine, I just did today, I had this thing out in the sun, and it was definitely getting more flexible already. So it was in the sunlight, 30 degrees outside temperature, and this material is actually supposed to, I think it's up to 70 or even higher, 80 degrees, where it's like just starting to get a little bit more flexible. So you can imagine, like in the direct sunlight, any material is gonna be challenging. Akita turquoise, yeah, that's right. Industrial turquoise, as it's called. Great. So let's get back into the topic. So what are we doing today in terms of giveaway? I think I didn't mention that. We are doing a giveaway in August. We don't want to forget about that. We have need to open my giveaway page. Let me see this. Stream elements. I think we didn't announce it yet. T-space. That picture. So, want to show you, or let's get the picture in. Give me 1 second. So, where's my stream elements? Giveaways. So there's currently no giveaway running, but we're gonna change that. So this is the description. So I'm gonna take a couple seconds to do this. Okay. So it's going to be up in a second. So I'm going to give away a Creality Space Pi filament dryer today. Today is the August 28th. blah, blah, blah. I think we got everything that we need. We can upload an image. Can I please upload an image? Okay. Is it working? Not sure. One ticket. Okay. So this should work. Okay, so if you have seen this already on Twitch, it started on Twitch. So if you're watching on Twitch, you can spend your nozzles that you've been collecting while watching using the ticket command. And the giveaway is in progress. You see this currently popping up in the corner here, and it has started. And we're gonna keep it running until the end of the stream. And then we'll draw the winner today. Because that's the August giveaway. We don't have so much time. We didn't have so much time in August together, so that's why I'm saying, that's why we decided that we're gonna have a small one. This is the little guy here. I'm currently finishing my review and we'll post it next week, and then it is available. Then I can ship it. So it's gonna take a while. Similar with the End of 3 with 3, I had to finish the giveaway and also the review, and now I'm shipping it out. And this one is gonna at least take another week to finish the review. Currently testing it with the different materials. Can I get this off now, please? My goodness. Why is it not? Why is this so difficult? Okay. So, how to do that? Tickets. Basically, just ticket max is the command. If you are interested how to do this, you can just enter exclamation mark giveaway, and you will get, I'm going to do this, giveaway. So if you do exclamation mark giveaway on Twitch, you'll see the instructions and you can then enter, but it's only working on Twitch. Real high roller. So I was also trying to, like, I also can print this only. This is one of the things that is a little bit annoying about the nylon printing is you need, I mean, I tried, this is a very narrow, like this is very narrow. So it's the surface area, which is touching the build plate, super small, and it tends to warp. And even in the enclosure, and even like with the X1 carbon. And so I need to use a brim to hold it at least a little bit better. And getting the brim off is also a little bit painful. I played around with the distance of the brim, not to make it too big, so it still holds the part, and then not to make it too small, that it's not melting into the part. So getting this like dialed in, the right balance of brim distance. I mean, it's just that there are so many little things that you have to consider when you do this kind of prototyping and figuring out how to actually produce more of these pieces. It's really getting interesting. Now this one, there is these two different versions now. This is like 40% infill. And this is really subjective, right? You have like, I mean, I can test it outside on the caravan window. This is like the flexibility of the 40% infill. This is the flexibility of the 100% infill. I don't feel a huge difference, honestly. This is probably not going to make such a huge change. Might be a little more rigid, but we'll have to test it out. Okay, guys, so what next? This print is done, so probably want to figure out the print parameters for the fishy filament and give it a try into the dry box. So we want to keep the, like, we want to unload this one, which is the nylon material. We want to unload it from the dry box and put it into the bag. And we can then load the fishy filament, because I definitely want to see this other version of nylon working, whether it's any different. We also want to check out the print parameters, if there's any huge difference in terms of the temperature settings or something. Yeah, so they have different types of nylon materials. Recycled nylon PA6, I'm curious how stable this is. Fourth Kurner, I think this is the one that I have. Filaments are mainly in homewares, wearables, fashion, other aesthetic products due to their attractive translucent blue-green color. Orca filaments are part of a family of materials aimed at technical applications that may include carbon, graphene, and carbon fiber. So we don't have the carbon fiber stuff. The question is, what are the print parameters? Oh, it's only available for pre-order. Interesting. So they don't have so much of that available. I think we're going to go with, essentially, we're going to go with the same print parameters as with the PA for that we're currently using. So it's like I'm currently printing a 270. So right in the middle, 100 degrees bed temperature is like also just somewhere in the middle. And so we might be good using the same material parameters as with the pull the filament. Yes, I'm going to pull the filament out. Let's do this. So this is the nylon PA12. So I think I'm gonna go with this very same print parameters. So this is the white that we used for this little hook here. And we're gonna use this fishy filament, which is made from recycled fish nets. That I'm gonna use that with the same temperatures. It's also a little bit conservative print speeds, like more on the slower side, 100 millimeter, because we want the material to really melt together, to bake together better, right? We want to print a little bit slower, so it has a little more time to like bake together. What's my favorite printer at the moment? Well, I want to be honest, I'm using my bamboo printers more than ever. So I'm using the X1 Carbon, like, which I still like. This is one of the first printers that, actually, my first enclosed 3D printer that I ever got. 2 years back, when before the Kickstarter actually happened, they sent this printer out to me. Actually, are you interested in getting a 2-year kind of let's say review of this printer, of the X1 Carbon at some point? And then I might consider making that. So let me know if you're interested to get a 2-year anniversary review from me about this printer, about the X1 Carbon. I think this, because this is still, I think, one of the most used printers in my workshop. I also have the Creality K1C. Use it a lot for some projects. I think it's also good because it can print. It's easier to print the more difficult stuff, like the brittle materials, because you can feed the filament from the top easier, especially with these kind of upgrade parts. And nylon 66. Okay, nylon 66 sounds interesting. Do you have a brand that is offering that? Like, where is this? Is this somewhere? Is someone offering this? Flash Forge PA66 nylon. PA666. That sounds crazy. Why PA666? Nylon Talman 4645. Okay. So there is companies that offer this. So I need to figure out which ones are actually available. Okay. In Germany. I think there's like PA66 or Filament. Okay, let's figure this out. So this is how the fishing meal filament looks like. So this is the filament that's made from the fishing net. And it's a nylon, PA6. So it's gonna give us a good comparison with the nylon 12, right? So we're gonna see whether it's more flexible, like how it's in terms of rigid, and we're gonna put it into the dry box as well. So keep it dry, because it's just coming out of the sealed packaging. So it was still in this packaging, and I think the dry gel is still fine. So it should be super dry now. So we're gonna keep it in the dry box, and we're gonna also seal back the other material so it doesn't get humid anytime soon. So we're gonna have it here, and we are feeding it into the X1 Carbon. So already close it, and we can keep the box running. At least for the next hour while we're printing. And we're just gonna give it, basically just gonna use the same print parameters and the same print settings. Just reprint the file that we already printed. So hopefully it's gonna be not necessary to tune this in any way. I guess not. It's a nice color, yeah. I definitely like the color, but I'm really curious on the outcome. Like, how does the final part, which is like this one here, how does it really look like? Is it actually kind of translucent? That might be actually an interesting product property. Maybe some people might be interested in actually getting it, because it's also now the more sustainable material. Polymaker brand. Polymaker, and 3D Jake has one in the web store, which is Amidex. Okay, let me see. 3D Jake. Is that something they offer? Or how's it called in Polymaker PA? Or is it not PA? Is it Copa 66? Nylon Copa 666. €72. Oh my goodness, this is expensive. My goodness. Yeah, it's quite expensive. You're right. So this is the material. Why are we still like? Why are we not in English? Yeah, this is probably the material. It says high heat resistant, robust and resistant, high tensile strength. Now we should probably compare the tensile strength of this material to others. So it looks interesting. Yeah, but the thing is, like with all these materials, I think the details are important. Like what does mean tensile strength mean exactly? Like how does it behave? How does this specific part that I'm currently doing behave in this material? So really, really interesting. So Cyrusvec was asking, like, how do you like the positron 3D printer? I think it's an interesting project. The question is really, this is probably for the people that are more into 3D printers as a hobby versus 3D printing as a hobby, right? If your hobby is 3D printers, then this is probably a good project for you, because this is absolutely an interesting project. But if 3D printing is your hobby and you want to print stuff, which I would say I'm somewhere in the middle between, like I'm also I think I'm on both sides. I have equal emotion. I'm emotionally attached to both sides. To say I like 3D printing and also 3D printers, and I'm also kind of torn in between sometimes what is more important to me. I'd say if 3D printers are your hobby and you want to tinker around, this is probably very interesting. I definitely agree on that. Like it's the same with, do you want a Voron 3D printer or do you want a Bambu Lab printer? Like what are you looking for? Is this the printer that you want for daily tasks? Just needs to be the reliable workhorse that you use every single day and you don't want to tinker around, just want to like be sure that it's working? Or yeah, do you want to upgrade and figure out what's going wrong every single day? If you're fine with that, let's say yes, then something like that is probably for you. We've been building so many printers on this channel. Oh my goodness, we have done so many exciting projects already. The V100, the Voron V0, of course all the ANET printers, the Ender 3s, the upgrades, the mods, the firmware upgrades, all the stuff, right? It has been so many things that have happened here in 6 years. It's great. But I think I'm gonna be more like, my path now is more with like, I want to develop some products, want to really do some filament testing, really like understand better how to use specific filaments for specific use cases. That's why I see myself at the moment heading towards. So figuring out really the material side of things and really the industrial use cases and all, like really testing out functional usage and building real products that are actually worth building and also maybe selling at some point to finance the hobby, right? Because it's all the goal is really to finance the hobby. So I think we can launch the print. Just want to get it going. And the humidity of the material is great. It's 15% relative humidity, and we are still heating up. So I think we're going to keep this box running while we're printing this. And we also have to seal the other one back. Don't want to forget about that because it's super prone getting moisture, soaking up the moisture. Sky's the limit. Yeah, that's right. With 3D printing, there's so many applications. It's really great. The V100 build is a fun project, but on a day-to-day use, it's not that much use. Yeah, you want to make it a bigger. I'm not sure, honestly. I had in the beginning of, like when the new version was kind of announced, a couple months back, or when Matt was announcing that he is actually making a new version, I was kind of, yeah, that's great. You can probably use the same rails and stuff to make it a bit larger. I think there was still a lot of print area wasted by the design itself. So I've said the mechanical parts would actually, like if you had the parts being a little bit smaller and more compact, you could probably print bigger. But then I saw like more and more of the actual drawings and specs of the new version, and I think realistically you cannot really reuse anything from the old printer. Like if you're looking at the expensive parts, you can, I mean, you can probably reuse hot end, you can reuse the mainboard, but you have also so many new parts that this build is essentially, honestly, it's realistically, it's a complete new build, right? I'm not sure how much actually, like in terms of money, you can save by using the parts from the V100. I think it's probably even better to keep the old one as it is and just get the parts for the new one if you're really interested to build it. But we'll see. I mean, I don't have the final specs yet. There is no list yet available. But that was a little disappointing in terms of how many parts probably can be used from the old build. I think not too much, honestly. So, print is starting here with the new material. What about my pen holder, actually? I've got this running since a while. Yeah, this is done. So I wanted to have the pen holder, but where is my... I think I had this little box here. Yeah. So I had these nozzle cleaner this little, how's it called? Tube with the nozzle cleaning needles, and I wanted some kind of a little storage solution to have it on my tool wall. So I'm gonna put it on the tool wall using this. I think this is better to have it somewhere. Actually, I want to have it on the side. Yeah, I decided that all of the mounts that I'm printing for my IKEA system here, It's not IKEA, it's like a 3D printed wall of Scottish panels, basically. I forgot about how many it is, 140-ish panels that I printed. So I'm still printing accessories and holders for stuff. So this one's just coming out today, which is this little holder for my nozzle cleaning pins. So let's keep that here on my side wall. One more thing fixed. I also fixed this one today for the additional studio lights here. And I want to have all my little tube lights organized here. So I need to find something that is going to hold my tube lights. Yeah, I have lots of needles kicking around my printers, but never know what diameters they are. Yeah, actually I think I only have 0.4 at the moment. Actually need to get, since I'm starting to use 0.6 millimeter nozzles more and more, I think I need to get a few of the 0.6 needles. It's actually a good reminder that I have to get them, so I'm probably gonna go here and find them. I'm not sure. There is different nozzles available for different sizes, so we probably need to find, is there needles for 0.6? Not really. Yeah, so probably need to figure out, does 3D Jake offer 0.6 millimeter cleaning options? That's a good question. But this is a good reminder that I have to get them, because I'm switching to 0.6 on a few of the bamboo printers now. So my next thing that I wanted to do, let me close a couple of the windows here. There's so many tabs open in my browser that I forget what I wanted to do. Okay, so this printer is running. Yeah, I wanted to find something for my tube lights. So actually I figured while searching for stuff for Scottish panels that there is these very useful the T-clip system, which makes printing these kind of parts where you actually need a this clip, which is usually a part that sticks out from the print. It makes it a separate part, and so you don't have to print the actual holding part together with the, for example, with the box that you're trying to mount. It makes printing these kind of things separate, and so it makes printing them without support much easier. That's why I like the system a lot. And what I'm looking for is some kind of tube light holder, or something that is already shaped like that, or if it doesn't exist, we need to build it ourselves, I guess. So it's probably, it might exist already, but it might also not. So there is so many options here, but maybe we're gonna find something that works. Snack cup holder, that's not the thing. This looks promising. This looks promising. This could actually work. This bigger one here. I think this is very close to what we need. So I'm probably gonna download all of these rotary iron grinder. I think the grinder one should be the one. So let's look at the grinder thing and check out if we can use that. So let's see if this works. Grinder. So this is how, yeah, this looks very much what I need. So this is why this version, or this is easier to print, because this doesn't need any supports. And usually you need this little hook here, which is hooking into the SCADA system. That's usually coming out right here. And that is a separate part, which is this thing we need to modify. Where is this? So many things that I need. T-clip. Here we go. So this is the separated clip. And you see this is something that usually is a hook that comes out at like at least probably 2 positions of such a part. And this is separated out, so you can just use it and stick it in and turn it. And that makes it stick to the wall, and that's why it doesn't need any support, which is actually a great option. So for each of the tube lights here, I have these tube lights, which are sometimes used for filming B-roll and stuff, and you can basically put them on your fingers like this. And I think this is actually a perfect holder. It looks pretty much like the piece that I need to have it sitting on the wall, and we can organize them all in one row. I think this is what I need here. So I'm gonna print one for now. And we're gonna use the P1 as 1. And we do this in red. PLA. So let's do this. Generic PLA. We use standard settings. Gonna use V parameters, and anything else is default. 3 parameters because this section here is quite under stress. If you put the little piece here in and you turn it, it might break. So 2 parameters is not enough. 3 is just right. And I think this is still quite rigid. And the tube light isn't that heavy, honestly. So I guess this is good. This takes an hour. So late today, oh my goodness. I have one machine with E3D volcanoes which has 6 hot ends ready to swap out with different nozzle sizes. Is this a hot swapping system, or is it like, what kind of system are you using to do the swapping? How is it that only 6 people are entering the giveaway? Are you not interested in the filament dry box? Like, there is at least 12 people watching on Twitch. Like, why is there only 6 entrants? Like, is the probability that someone who was winning something in the past is winning again is pretty high, honestly. Alexander, I'm looking at you. It has no nozzles yet. Okay. Okay, you don't need to watch it a little bit more. So, should we, like, why is it not showing anything? Why is the camera not showing anything? What's going on? Why is this not showing the printer? What's going on, my friend? Loading. Bamboo Lab, what is happening? Oh my goodness, the humidity in this box is crazy. I need to print more of these dry box. The pearl holders. We need to fix that. This is the only one left that doesn't have the containers with the desiccant pearls. I think I need, like, I have it in at least like the 2 other ones here, the 3 other ones. This one doesn't have this specific. It has other dry pearls in, but we definitely need to print more of these dry pearl containers. Maybe something I need to check out. I do not understand why it's not showing the camera. Why is it not working? This is working, I guess. At least it was working. Yeah, this one is already almost done, I guess. So 8 minutes left with this print. I'm printing a few more of the filament spool holders, the racks that I've been using here. I want to add a couple more at the bottom and at least one row here on the side that you're not seeing, right to the camera, for spare spools, like empty spools for Bamboo Lab. Because here we have a whole rack of empty spools, which I rarely use, honestly. And I want to have the actual full spools up there and the empty spools on the other side, just for better organization. Not sure what I do to win. Cyrus, you just have to do, first of all, you need to watch the stream on Twitch, and then you can enter using Ticket Max. And then, exactly, you have to get lucky because we are drawing a winner from all the tickets that have been entered into the pot. And so the probabilities are probably higher if you have more tickets, but I've seen people winning which had, I don't know, 10 tickets into the pot and others had a few hundred. So it was like, it is really totally random in the end. But you cannot pay for this, right? The only like virtual currency that you can use is your the time that you're watching on Twitch, which generates nozzles, and then you can decide whether you want to spend and how much into the pot. So that's how it works. Tickets must be greater than 0, my friends. Yeah. So you need to watch. Every 10 minutes you get 5 nozzles. So I guess we're gonna stay longer tonight. So why is this camera not working on the P1S1? What is happening? It's not working. Probably I need to reboot the printer or something. I don't know. It doesn't show anything. For whatever reason, we can, let's see. How does our nylon part do? It seems to be printing fine so far. Actually like the color, it looks interesting. So we're gonna see in a few minutes, we're gonna see the result. How it comes out. I'm really curious. But I'm mostly interested really in the look and feel, and what kind of parameters did we use? I think we did use the 100% infill with this, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, we're gonna see it in real life. I think the real life color is actually not far from the camera. But Is it working in terms of, is it not detaching? I hope so. Let's keep this closed. I think it's still holding good. My main concern is always with these kind of prints is, does it stick to the print bed? Or does it detach? My first few prints without brim were unsuccessful, mostly because it wasn't really sticking. And I tried different print surfaces. I tried to use the 3D luck. I tried to use the glue stick. Nothing really worked. So until I really started using the brim. And then actually not using any glue at all, right? With the default, I think it's the textured, not the smooth PI, but the textured PI surface of the Bambu Lab. So it's a little more rough than the smooth PI, which is also a little bit texture, but it's less grindy, I would say. And that sticks pretty well. So, but still without the brim, it didn't work there. With the brim, it is actually sticking super good. So we could probably reduce the size of the brim just a tiny bit. And I'm also like playing around with the brim distance, which is kind of a borderline thing. You want to have it a little bit, like you want to have it as close as possible, but also like have a distance where you can still release it from the part easily. And like it's just that you need to find that compromise, right? Where it is still sticking, where it's still holding the part, but it's still not that crazy baked into the part. And to find that right setting is different for every single material. It's a little bit different. And the extrusion factor is also playing into this. So you need to find the balance there. 10 minutes per nozzle, what do you mean? Yeah, every 10 minutes you get 5 nozzles. I think it's also in the rules of the giveaway. If you enter ! giveaway, you will see this link and you will find the info there. So it should be in this description. So was it? I think it was in that link. Where is the link? Yeah. Here's the, you get 5 nozzles every 10 minutes, right? So that's how it works. So we have 3 minutes to go with this print. It still needs a little bit of a cool down to release. You cannot just rip it off. The other part is also coming. It's our little tube light holder. If that is successful, I'm gonna make a couple more. So I need, how many? We need 8 total for the 4 tube lights. So I can keep them on the wall, ready for B-roll shooting. Actually, I realized I had missed some subscriptions here. Some people subscribe to the channel, or yeah, I think that a couple of people followed actually. So I don't want to miss that. So let's see. Got it. Moon's 3D Welt followed you. Thank you very much, Moon's 3D Welt, for following. So that was the only, I think this was the only follow I missed today. Not too many people are new on the channel today, but probably we're gonna keep posting every single week, so more people will join. I think I also did a pretty bad job in announcing the streams ahead of time. So I think I'm gonna utilize the YouTube channel a little bit more to make people aware of the Twitch streams, what we are doing here and how people can win stuff. I'm also not aware of like, is this the perfect time for everyone? Of course it's not, because I mean, it's probably not for everyone because it's German time in the evening. So not every single country in the world will have, it's not going to be the perfect time for everyone. But yeah, that's how it is. I need to do it when it's convenient for me. And yeah, we should, like on Twitch, you don't get these kind of, you don't get pre-announcements. I think the only way to really announce the stream properly is probably on YouTube or via Twitter. So yeah, we're gonna figure this out. I think on the long term, we're gonna find a way how to announce the streams properly to everyone. There's a question from Cyrus. Do you have a recommendation for tools which find the way back to the toolbox automatically before getting lost? Oh my goodness. I don't have an answer for this. I would love to have that, honestly. Is 4:39 p.m. in New York a good time to watch this kind of stuff? Like, this is a question I have. Like, is it a good time or not? Right? For the East Coast, it's probably not bad. The West Coast time, it's another, how many? It's 3 hours to the West Coast, if I'm not wrong, right? So we're like 1 p.m. And I'm not sure. Like, I'm not sure if it's a good time for like on a Wednesday. It's probably better, like, it would probably better on Friday. But I have to ask you, like, we could probably just do a poll and say, hey, what is actually a good time for you to watch live streams? Or is live streaming actually the thing that you want, right? That's the other thing that I was like, this is just an experiment, honestly. The live streaming is so much fun for me, but it's also an experiment, right? Is it actually the right thing to do for the channel, or is it something that doesn't work in the long term? Is it actually giving the community what they want, or is making videos that are 8 minutes long every single week, is this the better thing to do? I'm really debating about this, right? So my commitment is that we're going to continue doing this for the whole year, like towards the end of the year. And at the end of the year, I'm going to like probably look back and say, like, is this something that was worth it for me and you? And what could be done different? Like, maybe we want to do something different and we want to figure out how to make it even more interesting, right? I've seen other channels that are inviting more people to communicate, or like to participate live. So I think one of the things that is bothering me a little bit, that I'm the only person that actually can talk during the stream. So maybe we can find a way how we can actually have some people joining the stream and presenting something that they are proud of. For example, if you have built something, if you have made something, or you have just an interesting print that you just did, or you're into painting 3D prints. I'm always astonished by people who are very skilled with painting the prints or printing miniatures or something and then painting them, decorating stuff. So if you want to show this kind of stuff, I think this could be something that maybe people want to see us doing. I'm not sure. Just a thought to involve the community even like more. That I'm not the only person talking here, but having more like people want to do something, want to show something. I That's something that I was thinking of. I'm not sure if they're really interesting for you. So you need to tell me what you think could be beneficial to the show, as we might call it, and say what do you want to see here? Do you want to see others showing stuff, experts from different areas talking about specific topics, or do you want to see other creators from the space of 3D printing, for example, other YouTubers, or more like industry people that are not into social media so much, but more in the actual topic in terms of professionally doing stuff, or I say using the technology but not necessarily being so active on social media. So this could be something. If you are interested in this, then I would make the effort and reach out to more people and try to figure out how can we get them on the show. So let's get our little thingy out. Okay, so at least the brim detached a little bit easier, but it is also a little warped. So probably the brim distance for this specific material isn't perfect. However, it's just a test. This is the result in our fishy nylon. This is from the recycled fish nets. I mean, came out nicely. I would say just with this little, there's a little warping here happening, and it wasn't it was detaching on this little corner here. But besides that, it came out good. Didn't really come off the build plate. So I think we need to do a better job with the adhesion. And probably for this material, the brim distance is too much, versus this one here is completely different because it's baked the brim into the, it's really so much baked into the material that I need to actually use a deburr tool, and then really deburring that from the corners is a little bit of work to do. So you see, you need to tune settings specifically for the filament. 110-ish, I think, or even higher, we can tune the bed temperature up. That needs more heat. Might be the thing. We can heat it up even more. But you see, I think I like the color as well. The question now is, how is this material in terms of the properties of, how flexible is it versus, it's still quite warm, so we need to have it cool down so to see the real thing. But I'm really interested to see whether this is more flexible, because it's probably not, it's super rigid. So let me get my deburring knife here. Where is it? So we need a deburring tool holder for the wall here. For sure we need some tool holder for that. So I'm going to get rid of the brim remainings quickly from the other print. So, and it's not a shame if you have to remove the brim, rest of the brim with a deburring tool. I think this is quite normal, honestly. Sometimes this is unavoidable. But there's actually nice tools for that. There's these deburring knives that you can easily use to remove the rest. That you can't just strip off. You just have to be careful that you're not grinding too much into the part. And if you remove a little more than required, it's also not the worst. You're gonna get a nice round corner using the knife. Just have to follow the corners carefully, and then we get this little sharp edge off the part. And for prototyping, this is good, but I wouldn't do this for if I had to do batch production of this, I wouldn't want to do this. So I need to find a way how to print it without the brim sticking so crazy. So perfect balance of brim distance, temperature, bed temperature. This is the key. And that takes a lot of experimentation. And it's probably different with every single part. Depends on the shape of the part, how much you actually need of that. Infill settings also influence the bending of the part. So it's really actually makes a difference how much infill you use, how much that part's gonna bend. So not using any infill or like doing 100% infill lines can actually be really bad in terms of the warping. So it's sometimes even better if you're considering to do less infill and a few more, like you can, like, of course this is quite thin, so you can't really have so much infill here if you want a few parameters. So it's the balance that makes the difference. Is this cooled down already? So just like I would say the flexibility is very similar. We have to test this out. I think it's a bit more rigid. Similar. It feels a little more sturdier, like a little sturdier. This is the one with 40% infill. I'm trying to use the same amount of force here. This is 100% infill with, not infill, but parameters. So it's only parameters. And this is the one with 100% parameters, so to say. It feels a little more rigid. Like it feels like it's not bending that easy. It's not that flexible, still a little flexible. We need this little bit of flexibility to have this part going over the window border, but we don't want it to be super flexible. And it doesn't really break, right? It's definitely not possible to get this to break. But you can pull on this hook, it's not cracking. So that's the power of nylon, right? So quite impressive, honestly. So we're gonna test this out in a real scenario, like we're gonna put it on the caravan tomorrow, see how it behaves in the sunlight. Does it get any soft, and how long does it hold? How much weight does it hold before it starts bending? So yeah, and the other option that we still have is we can just make it a little bit wider, so we can like increase the not the thickness, but how wide it is. We cannot really increase the thickness because the part has still to fit between the window and the isolation, so the rubber. So we cannot make this that much thicker. I measured out that we have around 5 millimeters between the window here and the caravan wall. So there is like 5 millimeters, something, a little more maybe. And there is not that much room to increase the thickness. There might be a little bit, like we can still experiment with like 1 more millimeter of thickness, something like that, maybe 2. But it's still like the window needs to close nicely without any additional force required. I think this is one thing that customers wouldn't really appreciate if they have to force the window close. And one more thing that is also to be considered in this position when the window is open, right? When this is not rigid, or if it's too flexible and you pull down, it is going to basically just fold over the window border, right? It's gonna just fold back because it's so flexible. It's gonna, like, at some point, if you have too much weight on this, it's just gonna flip over because it's flexible. When the window is closed, this cannot happen. So definitely if the window is locked in place, this hook can never come off. Nevertheless, so even if it's warm, so this is the thing. What we can, like, we can still play around with the thickness. We can make it wider wider hook. We can also make the hook even thicker. But the weakest point, like the weakest part actually, that's why the hook also has this. This is why the hook is not round here, right? If you see this, this is why the hook is not round. It is, it goes, like it is flat to the bottom and then it goes out, because we want the force to push against the wall of the caravan, right? If you pull down here, it pushes against the wall, and if it's round, we are losing a little bit of this surface area here. That might be like where the caravan wall can actually support the hook. That's why it's shaped this way. That's why it's not like round like this, right? Because if it's round like this, then you have no surface that's pushing and that's supporting it when it's pushing against the wall. And this is why it's shaped this way. So the hook won't break. I have no doubt that the hook can hold. It is so stable, it's not breaking. The weak part is actually this side that's over the window. If it's over the window border and you pull down, this part here can, at some point, it's gonna come up, right? Like it's a little bit exaggerated, right? If this part, like if you pull down a lot, this part at some point, especially if it gets very warm in the sun, this part might come up slightly, and then it might like just whoop, flip over, or slip over the window border, right? If it's getting too flexible, that's the thing that we need to test out. It can't get too flexible, otherwise, especially if the window is open and you're having some heavy weight on this, it's going to, at some point, it's gonna come off. And this is the thing that we still need to test out. Maybe getting it a little bit wider, just a few millimeters, cannot hurt actually. Makes the thing bigger. And maybe some more thickness. If it's possible, I have to test it out. But yeah, so far, compared to the white version, this greenish looks nice. And it is something that can be also advertised as, I would say, more sustainable. I think it's actually a good argument to make. So this is much more, it's more sustainable because it's made from fishing nets versus this is fresh plastic. Nylon is actually not going to rot anytime, so it's something that is not going away anytime. That's the negative part of a nylon. Nylon is not something that is going to be degradable at any point. It's forever, basically. It's made forever, for eternity. And so that's why I think the point that this plastic here from Filamentum is made from the fishing nets is actually going to be more attractive to customers than the nylon material or even ASA, which is also not, like, ASA is also not a sustainable material. I would say even more then we would be better suited with the ABS, with the recycled ABS, which is also good because it's from recycled plastic. So it's also more sustainable, but it does have this problem that it's not UV resistant, right? Move the hook to a few degrees angle, offsetting the load, yeah. If you add 1 centimeter, maybe 3 millimeter thick block to the back of the hook where it goes against the wall, it would put less stress under load on the part that goes over the rubber. At 1 centimeter, maybe 3 millimeter thick block on the back of the hook. You mean you want something here? You would add something here, like a little bulk to the back, so it sticks out a bit. Okay, I can test this. Maybe we're gonna test this. So I'm gonna do a couple of tests with like different materials. Gonna hang equal weights onto these and then let them in the sun. Let them sit on the caravan wall and window and then wait for things to happen, basically. And I mean, we can limit the weight and say like, we don't want this to be something for, I don't know, like 20 kilogram, right? What we want this to be for is maybe 2 kilogram, maybe 5 kilogram, but not so much more. It is, I mean, otherwise it is also not, like, it's not the right thing for the, it's not the purpose, right? So we don't want to like hang a human being on this. No drying brick from the caravan windows. Drying brick. I'm not sure. I think this is definitely something that we can hang a shoe organizer. I think one of like my main purpose of this would be hanging the shoe organizer. The shoe organizer is usually something that can weigh up to 5 kilogram maybe, if it's a big one. So you have lots of shoes in there. That might be one thing. Another one might be a little bit of a shelf. Hanging a shelf from there could be an option, but then you don't want to put too much weight on the shelf. So I think testing out the maximum load is definitely one thing to do. But before I start like really testing the limits of each of the things, I want to see that it doesn't come off in the first place. So even with low weight, it shouldn't get really deformed under the temperatures that we're gonna put it through. And then we're gonna see. And then we can also try different shapes of hooks and bigger hooks, smaller hooks, depending on the purpose. Finding a good compromise for the hook dimension and also the shape. But you see, this is all product testing. Product testing could take forever. Finding the right materials can take a long time. And one of the next materials that I want to test is ASA, because that is also something that is an option, because it is it has a lot of temperature resistance. It's not brittle. It's pretty stable, rigid, and UV resistant. However, probably not that flexible, and that could be good, that could be bad. I have no idea yet if this is actually a good idea. So let's figure out. I think I have some ASA rest. It's just the ASA. I think this is the Filament black ASA. Yeah. So Filament jet black ASA. I don't like the color for this specific thing. I mean, for the use case, I would say black is probably the least favorite of my colors that I would use for this kind of thing. Because it's like, it's supposed to be something that, in the first place, it is going to be on your comfort zone. It's going to be in your living room, basically. And I think since most caravans have white walls or outside paint, the white version seems to be the natural option. The green one is, I like it more because of the material, but black is something that I probably not go so much for. I would even more say, since our caravan has some yellow letters on it, and some other caravans have blue letters and blue stickers and stuff, yellow and blue would be two other options I would definitely look at, just from a styling perspective. But black, maybe, but maybe also not. I've seen other versions of this out, like in the market. There is something already that looks similar, but I think we can do better in terms of material choice. We can do better, and we can also do better in terms of colors, testing, offering different versions for more different window types. So I think there's still room for improvement. So yeah, some testing with this new, maybe with a modified version of the hook is something that I need to do. Wet towel would be probably a good test. Yeah. Wet towel is actually, I mean, depends on the size of the towel, but we can also use a sandbag and fill it up with like, because it's not gonna, like, if it falls and it's on the caravan wall, it doesn't destroy anything, right? So, damn child. So we can use some sandbag, fill in like, I don't know, 5 kilogram, and I think use that as the maximum and say, okay, if it holds the 5 kilogram sandbag or 2 kilogram sandbag, we can do 2 different sandbags. Say, oh, we have these 2 different weights. The 2 is the minimum, 5 is the maximum, or the testing range. Say, okay, if it holds 2 kilogram, we're good. If it holds 5, it's even better. I think that's the thing. And you need to set, like, the thing is the products, I think you need to set some boundaries and say, okay, this is safe up to X kilogram and up to some temperature. So you need to find these parameters, like you need to say, this is the limits. If you don't say that, people will always complain and say, yeah, it doesn't work with, I don't know, 10 kilogram. I hooked up 10 kilogram and it didn't work, and say, okay, but we wrote 2 is the limit. Okay, so then it's like not our fault. So you need to set these boundaries and say, this is what we tested. I think we need to figure out what's the safe zone and what's the safe weight that you can put on, and then set the limit and say, this is what you can do. And then do some testing. Is this reasonable? Is it enough for Frank print at least one in TPU? Oh my goodness. Yeah. TPU could actually, but not too bad. Like if you have the very much the hardest TPU that you can print, and it's going over the rubber side of things, I think like it could actually be holding pretty well, right? If rubber against rubber is not too bad. Why not, right? Rubber with rubber is probably, it's gonna create a lot of resistance, like not just jumping off this window. But on the other hand, I'm not sure about temperature resistance with the TPU, and also like weather and UV light. Yeah, that's why I think more material testing is necessary. So next one is ASA, for sure. But I'm not gonna do this when I'm in the room, because ASA, and I also wanna, this was one of the things I was thinking about, this filter here. Since this has been in the printer for 2 years now, in the Bamboo Lab, I am going to replace this filter anyways. This is totally overdue. Haven't replaced this filter for a year or something. Just got a new one, and I'm definitely, like, for ASA printing, want a fresh filter. So, fresh filter from Bamboo, and I'm gonna put it in there. This is absolutely a must-have. Otherwise, this is super, like, it doesn't really affect anything. You have a filter system and your filter is 2 years old, and I honestly forgot about that for a while. It's not going to affect anything. So that's why I changed that right now. And I still have to work on this. Still have to work on a ventilation system for the workshop, because like, eventually, by the end of the year or something, beginning of the next year. Yeah, I should write the date on the filter. That's good. It's a good one. By the end of the year, I want to have, at least on the other side of the room, which is just behind another curtain, we want to have a whole new print area where the printers are going to be. So some are probably got, just for demonstration purposes, we're going to keep some of the printers here, but for prints that are louder, printers that are louder, and prints that are louder and longer, and potentially also with materials like ASA, which is dangerous in terms of the toxic exhausts that it creates. I want to have a ventilation system above the printers that are, and also like hoses that I can connect to, or at least get closer to the exhausts of the printer. So eventually I'm not gonna get any health issues when printing while working here. That's why I'm saying I'm not gonna print the ASA while I'm in the room. I'm gonna keep the window open. I'm gonna leave the room. I'm gonna come back when it's done, and then I'm just gonna ventilate the room. But like staying in the room while you're printing ASA is not a good idea. That's the only thing that I can tell you. It's really a health problem that you can get from that, because it's really toxic. Like it's not a joke. It's really toxic. And even filters, like they can do so much, but it is still going to be some kind of concern that I have. So it's already 11 o'clock in the evening. Like, when should we do the giveaway? I think we should close it. So I'm gonna increase the pressure a little. Gonna increase the pressure. So you have to spend your nozzles now, my friends. You have to spend them now, because we're gonna close this giveaway. And then we're gonna draw the giveaway winner. So you better go to the Twitch chat and say ticket max or ticket number. And so you are entering. We have 11 people in the giveaway at the moment. Kind of very much similar amounts, except one person that I'm not gonna mention, who has a lot more tickets in this giveaway. So we are gonna wait 5 minutes more. Like, I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to enter. We have 11 people in the giveaway, 15 people on Twitch watching. Like, if you still want to enter, how to enter? Like, if you're late, okay. So what you need to do is like say ticket or nozzles. So if you enter nozzles, you will get to know like how many nozzles do you have. I don't have any nozzles, right? And if you have more than 0, you can say ticket max, right? And then you can enter into the giveaway, right? And that's how it works. And then we're gonna draw a winner, and then it's pure luck. Pure luck of a combination of probability of you have X nozzles into the pot, versus random drawing of that pot. And it could be that people that have a lot of nozzles in the pot could potentially have a higher probability of winning, but just potentially. In the end, it's just luck, right? And the system randomly picks a ticket from the pot, and then the ticket is owned by someone. Not tickets, ticket max. Or ticket max, yeah, you see how it works, right? And if you don't have any points, that just means that you didn't watch at least 10 minutes of the stream on Twitch, because you get 5 tickets or 5 nozzles, which are like basically the virtual currency that you can spend on the channel. Currently only for the giveaways, but we're probably gonna find ways to spend the nozzles also for other stuff. And then you can use these nozzles and spend them for tickets. Yeah, for the people who are watching on YouTube, it's like, unfortunately, I had to pick something. I had to pick a place where we do this, and never got it working on YouTube, and it worked on Twitch just right away, and so that's why we're doing this on Twitch. And it's also like it doesn't work to have it running on both platforms at the same time with the same people into the same pot. Doesn't work. So you have to pick one place where you run the giveaway, and this is either one or the other, right? That's why it's on Twitch. Twitch for the win, yeah. Okay, so we are like 2 minutes away from drawing. And then, are we already finished? No, we didn't finish yet this little holder piece, but we did finish this print here. Filament spool holder. These are the connectors which are used to, like basically where the filament spool is sitting on. And every pair of brackets has 2 of these in between. And then we need to do, for each pair of connectors, we need to do 2 brackets. So we can then mount them to the tool wall. And it's all IKEA system, working with IKEA SCADIs. And all of the panels here in the studio look like IKEA panels, but they're all 3D printed. So that's why everything that I'm mounting here needs to be compatible or according to the SCADIS specifications in terms of hole sizes, diameters, and distance. That's good because there is so much stuff that works with IKEA SCADIS. And people are still inventing new pieces for that. So it's like such a huge choice. I've enjoyed a playback feel of your YouTube channel for a while. I'm one of my subs on Patreon. Laid back, not playback, laid back. Yeah, great. Great to hear that you're enjoying this. We're not so stressed out. It's actually like if you like nowadays it is, the crazy part is 6 years ago it wasn't that super, like you didn't have to make the videos so punchy. Right, so go and no pauses and stuff, and retention and stuff. And also like, I mean, it wasn't that necessary yet because people were just searching for stuff, and using keywords was the way how you could make the video to be found. Nowadays it's like recommendations. That means most videos get watched by people who are like getting this on their page and see like this, watch this video, this could be something for you. Some people still use search, but it's like more I think from what I see, this is more becoming like people watching all of the time things that they get recommended versus things they actually search for is getting less and less. And that's why making the videos has been changing so much into, you have to be so much to the point, so much punchy, which is like not worse. Like it's not really bad because you also are trained to like really come to the point, right? It's just, you appreciate that. Honestly, I also appreciate that, right? If you come to the point, don't weasel around the topic. But yeah, it's how it is. I think it has become a little more difficult to get attention. But if you still make it, like, I think if I want to make more videos again. However, it is still a struggle, right? It's still not easy. It's like, it's probably supposed to be not easy, because if it was so easy, then then everyone would be doing it. But it is, the effort is I feel that the effort that I'm putting in is kind of not becoming less, at least, right? It has to grow, or it has to be at least the same level of quality all the time, and that's why you can also struggle. Like if you don't have that same amount of time available anymore because of kids, family stuff, it's getting like that's working against you, right? But yeah, that's how it is. It's still fun. I'm still editing my videos myself. That's probably one of the bigger problems that I can probably solve. I can actually solve this, but it is still like it's the reality. So let's get started with the giveaway drawing. So, think we can do it now, right? Everyone has bought their tickets. Okay, good luck. So let's switch over. Good luck, everyone. Closing the giveaway now. And we're drawing a winner. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3, and go. Cyrus Wag, congratulations. Cyrus Wag is the winner. Mark as complete. And if you go to the public page, you'll see this. Cyrus Wag is the lucky winner. Actually, a person that is new to the stream, if I'm not wrong, right? That's good. That's really good. That's really good. Thank you. Fairly new to the stream. Couple of streams, yeah. I think I've seen you for a couple of streams now, but not me or Alexander for once. Exactly. Okay, good. Okay, so I'm gonna how this is working. Actually, I have to send out 2 giveaways now, but we have been on vacations. Probably it's not too bad, doable. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna privately chat with the person. Where is the person? Where is it? Where is it? Give me the name. Get me the name. Just need to find this in the list. Come on, Twitch. Why is this not working? Oh, Cyrus back. Not sure. Is the Twitch alias working here? Cyrus back. Where are you in the list? I don't find you actually. It's strange. Is the person still in the room? Is Cyrus still here? Still online? I'm not sure. Strange. Ah, here we go. Here we go. Okay, so let's see if this works. I'm not sure if he or she is still here. Seems that I tagged a person now on Twitch, but it's they're not answering. So we have to figure out if they are like aware that they have won. Good question. Let me see. Can I still contact this viewer It's a good question. I can try to message them here somehow. Cyrus back. Can I find them? I hope so. Ah, okay, he's back. Okay, see. He, she, back. I was struggling with this. Okay, so congratulations, Cyrus Wag. You won the giveaway. You won the filament dry box from Creality. Congratulations. What I'm gonna do now, please stay online for at least for a couple of minutes, because I am going to send you a private message. And you should answer this by sending me your contact data. Okay, so that's great. We have the person and we can contact them. That's good. So congratulations. The printer is done with my little holding piece. Let me figure out if this works with my... This is the piece that we were printing on earlier. So what I want, just to get back to this, I want this tube light to be mounted to the wall. Actually, it works. It fits perfectly, honestly. It fits perfectly. That's really nice. So I need a pair of these holders for each of the tube lights. We have 4 tube lights, so I need 7 more. So I'm gonna put a few more on the print bed, so this can run overnight. And yeah, then I'll be able to have them nicely placed over there, which is great. And we're gonna do more material tests for my very first, actually really like very first public consumer product. So let's see if that works out. I'm gonna keep you posted on the progress there. Great, great, great. Okay, Cyrus, I've sent you your the private message. I hope you got it. And don't post your email address here in the public chat. Do it in the private chat, my friend. Don't post it. Don't post it here. Go to the private chat I've sent you on Twitch and answer that only in that little separate chat window. Probably go to the computer if you're on the mobile, and you can do this later. You don't have to do it now. And I just want to confirm that I've got the right alias so that you've got this private message. So please check if you got the private message and at least write me something in that private chat window. And if you cannot do this on the mobile, I don't actually know how this works on mobile. You probably just go to computer and do it there, something. I think it should work. We're gonna get in touch somehow. It's gonna work out. Awesome. So we have a winner. Yeah, I don't know if this were like, I don't know honestly how this works on mobile. I have to check. Maybe I can tell you how this works on mobile. On Twitch. Let me see when I'm doing this myself. Just log in. Let me see. It works on mobile, yeah. The question is how. Yeah. It's probably some window that you have to open or some kind of chat window that you have to find the button for. So how do you do private chat? You go to, not on the start page, seems so. Interesting. How would you where do you need to click? I'm on Twitch in the app, and I'm wondering where would I find messages. Here we go. You go to activity, which is one of the the bell icon in the lower, like it's here down. There is some kind of bell icon in the Twitch app, and then you click on Whisper, which is the second tab up here, and then you can see the private messages. You can just click on the message from Daniel Crosslink and then just post something back, please, so I know this is the right thing. Okay? Should work on mobile. Seems so, at least. So let's kick off. Let's kick a few more parts off. So we need 7 more. Let me see how many we can fit here. Let's clone this one at least. Can we actually print 6 more clones? And also 6 more. This, so probably need to rearrange. Yeah, nice, nice. So, should we take the risk of printing all of this in one? I guess we can. It works pretty well, sticking quite well to the print bed, so no problem with that. So I guess we can just send this over and have that print over until tomorrow. And then we should be good. So, hope to catch more here. Need to run. Everyone have a good night. Thank you, Flipsaw. Have a good night too. Yeah. Good. Okay, so Cyrus has sent me his confirmation. Okay, danke. Actually, are you from Germany? Okay, what coincidence? Oh, from Austria. Okay, great. Great to see you. You probably know then the Nobofil brand, which is from Austria. I really like them a lot. So, got a winner, good person. Contact information is gonna come. That's great. That's great. What next, my friends? What next? I have 2 more things. I have so many things that I need to do. Hard to tell you where to start. So, what do we have to do still? I think one of the things I need to finish until next week is the review for this dry box. It's going to be, I think, very much straightforward. Then we're going to have a couple more things. I think the week after I need to finish. Let me check this. So, dry box review. Then we have, what's next here? So, dry box review, space by filament dryer, yeah, exactly. Then the Panda Touch review, which is also pending. So I think dry box and Panda Touch review are the next 2 videos that I'm gonna make. In one of the next live streams, we're also gonna test or at least get started with the K-Touch, which is the other touch screen, which is not Bamboo Lab specific, but it's Clipper. So it means that you can control Clipper printers from this touchscreen directly. Very similar to other things that are already on the market. like the Creality tab or the Sovol tab, which are essentially just basically remote controls for Clipper printers or touch screens for Clipper printers. So this is very much the thing, very much something like that. And so yeah, very curious to test out the K-Touch. Then we have also something that I want to compare at least with the older version, which is the new Pi from Picture Tech, right? Pi 2. So we have, I have a couple of printers where I have the Pi 1.2, for example, the where do we have the Pi 1.2? I guess the Pi 1.2 is in the V100. So I want to see whether the Pi 2 is faster. I think is one of the main things that I want to see. Like, is it actually faster? What's it in terms of the performance, the specs, the memory? I think that's very much equal. But like really more about like, is it actually faster? Can it actually drive a printer faster, or do we even not see that difference? And what about other workloads that we might have to run on this device? So probably using it as a little NAS device or anything else where performance might be more of a concern. So I want to see that a little bit, want to test out maybe in the close future. But one of the yeah, interesting, because I'm the CB2 is basically just like the core element, the core CPU part with memory that you can plug into boards. It's faster, but you won't notice the difference. Main thing is the USB port don't have a ground fault anymore. Yeah, probably better for stuff. I actually had never, like, it didn't have problems with the old one in that regard. But yeah, it might be, I mean, the natural thing is that the old one is going to disappear at some point and the new one is going to be then the default. But yeah, it could be faster a little bit at least. So let's see if we can find any noticeable difference and any advantages versus the old version, like really looking at the specs and comparing these. And then I think like once I still have one of the older ones, we can probably also do the giveaway there of one of the 1.2s. So let's see. Picture Tech doing a lot of things lately, new products, interesting stuff. Yeah, what else? I think so far I have a few more ideas for some projects with the Raspberry Pi. So let's see if that fits in at some point. And I told you, like before in the beginning of the stream, I really want to look at the X1 Carbon after 2 years now, because a lot of things have been swapped out on this printer already. Like I had a lot of repairs that I did. Usual things, I mean, nothing extraordinary, but things that happened in the 2 years that I had to replace. And really how this thing behaves now, 2 years later, I think this is worth it, looking at the printer, because I think it's still a very, very good thing. It's still a very good printer, even though it is still the same thing 2 years later. It's still a very, very much my everyday printer, together with the P1S, the P1P for some regard. Also, what I also want to do, because I still have this box here with all of the parts, at some point I need to upgrade the P1P to the P1S, right? Because that was one of the things that I wanted to do, is just have the 3 printers completely enclosed, so they are all equal, right? Got an eMMC storage? I don't think so, honestly. I think it has not. So it's not here in the description, but eMMC think it doesn't have internal storage. But it has, on the back, it has, not eMMC, but it has SSD, right? So you can put just a glimpse preview. On the back, you have an SSD slot, right? For a little SSD, a shorter version at least. There you can put an SSD. And of course you have still the good old SD card slot here. But for me, interesting is this here, the SSD slot. So PCI, I don't know what PCI Express, but looks very much like a default SSD slot. So let's test that out. Right, that's probably one of the biggest differences. So, but I'm pretty sure that it doesn't have onboard storage yet. You still have to, for that it's definitely too cheap. The CB2 has that, but this is more like the tinkering version of it with all the connectors and all the pins. That doesn't have internal storage, at least. If I'm not completely mistaken, we're going to find out more about it very soon. I'm going to test it. So, let's put this back. The rubber duck is getting stuck. So, rubber duck has to stay outside. Okay, so let's see. M2 slot, yeah, it's just a normal SSD slot. But the short one, I don't think that I currently have a short SSD. Like I only have these like longer sticks that are more for computers. Have to actually look for a shorter one that is, I don't know the numbers exactly, but there's like these names or the numbers there where they distinguish between the different lengths of the SSDs, and there is like the usual size, which is like most of the computers have the standard length, which is pretty much, I don't know, 10 centimeters or something. And this one looks like more like 5-6 centimeters, so it's definitely the short version. This obviously also not that much storage, not as much as you can have on the longer ones. But let's see. I mean, we'll do the review, we'll test it out and see how it works and how usable it is for, like, not only for 3D printing, but maybe also for something like a little home server that some people probably want to build with this for cheap, or I don't know, a NAS storage or a media center, something like that. I think this is actually a good use case because it also has infrared built in, so it in a way is a little more all-around thing that I see we could potentially see if that works. It's a Big Tree Tech Pi 2.0. Big Tree Tech has these Pis. The old one is the Pi 1.2. That's the one that we've been using already for projects here for printers with Clipper, and the new one is called Big Tree Tech Pi 2.0. It's definitely not as fast as a Pi 4 or Pi 5. So it's definitely on the lower end, on the cheap end. So something like a Pi 3B, whatever, is more comparable to that, not Pi 4 and not Pi 5. So Pi 4 and 5 are definitely way faster. And they also have more memory. So it is definitely not for applications that require a lot of memory. I think 1 gigabyte or 2 gigabyte of RAM. So we'll look at that, but it's definitely more on the lower end. It's really I'd say not graphical user interface so much. Not like, if you want to go for, you can actually build a real computer with a Raspberry Pi 4 or even better than the Pi 5, which is definitely capable of running apps like, I don't know, Fusion, Cura, slicer programs and stuff like that, if you want to go in that direction. But I have my doubts about the Pi 2 being capable of doing that. It's more like Clipper is pretty much fine, and maybe you can also run a little web server on that for a, I don't know, private website, or like even a public website if you have internet connection, and or a little storage solution for your network, or maybe a little media center. I think that's something that could work. So I want to figure out if that's actually possible here, and what are the use cases besides this being another Clipper host, right? Because Clipper is probably the thing that you are interested mostly, because 3D printing, but maybe it's also good for other stuff. Let's see. With that, I'm going to leave you. I'm going to wish you a good evening, good night. It's already pretty late. And yeah, happy 3D printing until the next time. Next time is most likely going to be next Wednesday. We need to do better in terms of announcing the stream, so I'm going to figure out how to let you know more in advance about the topics that we're going to do and when. So let's see. Happy week, happy weekend, and not for 8:31. 8:31. Today's 28th of August, right? So next Wednesday, most likely. If nothing goes bad, we're gonna see each other next Wednesday, same time, same place. Bye bye. Have a good one.